After what felt like a lifetime of waiting, the Mario movie is finally here, and it is amazing. I wish I could say that I didn't have any doubts that it wouldn't be amazing, but I did. I remember watching the Nintendo Direct where they revealed the voice actors for the film, and in my head I was like, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Jack Black as Bowser, and then whenever they revealed that Chris Pratt was voicing Mario, I was just like, whoa! And then my family looked at me weird and they're like, what happened? And I was like, Chris Pratt is voicing Mario. And then they revealed that Illumination of all companies was making it. And that's when I was like, this is gonna be like all the other video game adaptations, isn't it? They're getting celebrities to voice the characters, and they got one of the most mid-animation studios to make it. But I didn't completely lose hope because I had faith that Nintendo knew what they were doing. And now after having seen the movie twice, I can confirm that they knew exactly what they were doing. And the cast was actually really good. Jack Black absolutely killed it as Bowser, Chris Pratt was an amazing Mario, and Keegan-Michael Key was surprisingly good as Toad. Honestly, Seth Rogen is probably the worst out of all the cast. Like, he wasn't bad at Donkey Kong, he just didn't do anything new or different for the voice. It was just Seth Rogen. Which wouldn't be a bad thing if he didn't do the same voice in like every other movie he was in. I actually think he admitted in an interview that the voice he did was lazy. But yeah, the cast was amazing, and this was surprisingly really good for an Illumination movie. It's definitely without a doubt the best movie they made. Like, there were some parts where I was like, this is an Illumination movie? This is definitely the best experience I've ever had with a movie. Like, if I could pick a movie to experience for the first time again, it would definitely be this one. I was freaking out so much. Like, my friend told me after the movie that he looked at me like 30 times because of how much I was freaking out. Right whenever the film started and they played the airship theme, the biggest smile appeared on my face and it would not go away. And after Bowser stole the superstar and it cut to the Mario Bros commercial, all my doubts disappeared, and that's when I knew that this was going to be a really good movie. That scene also shows how perfect Chris Pratt and Charlie Day are for Mario and Luigi. Like, honestly, if Illumination just released like the whole clip online, I'm certain that all the criticism would have disappeared. I'm pretty certain the people at Nintendo and Illumination were like, oh, you have doubts we picked the wrong people? Well, here you go. This part also gives us a really good cameo from Charles Martinet.
What about the accents? Is it too much? Too much? It's perfect!
Charles Martinet also voices Mario and Luigi's dad, which is honestly like the best way to put him in the movie. There is also so many references to the games. Like, Luigi's ringtone is the GameCube startup sound, Charles Martinet is dressed up as an original Mario, and he's also playing a Donkey Kong clone that's called Jumpman, which was Mario's original name. The pizzeria they're in is called Punch-Out Pizza, and in the background you can see photos of all the people you fight in the game. There's also a couple of Duck Hunt ducks thrown in there. And this is just in like the first 10 minutes. Later on, they recreate the opening to Luigi's Mansion, which I really liked for no particular reason. They also just straight up put Baby Mario, Luigi, and Peach in the film, which, you know, just took me completely off guard, but I'm so glad they put them in there. And they also have King Bob Ome and King Boo as background characters. Don't even get me started on the soundtrack. Like, they have songs from pretty much all the mainline Mario games, plus some from the spin-offs like Captain Toad, Luigi's Mansion, and Donkey Kong. They also have the DK rap and the Mario Brothers rap in there. Like, honestly, I could just talk about the soundtrack for hours. What I really liked about the references is that they weren't like super in their face. They weren't like, hey, it's me, a reference like from the games. They all felt natural. I'm also glad they didn't make this entirely a kids movie. Like, they're probably aiming this towards kids, but they made it to where adults can also enjoy it too. Now, this isn't an entirely perfect film. There was a couple of stuff I thought they could have done better and some stuff I didn't really like. Like, this film is super fast-paced. Like, Mario and Luigi spend like 10 minutes in Brooklyn, then they get sent to the Mushroom Kingdom, which Mario's only there for like 10 seconds before meeting Toad, who doesn't really question the fact that he's a human, even though we're told that Princess Peach was the only human there. He's immediately like, you gotta meet Princess Peach. And whenever Mario does meet Princess Peach, she's like, oh, you're a human. Cool, you're coming with me. It's like this for the rest of the movie, like they just jump from one situation to the next. But I'll give them a pass on this, because like I said earlier, this probably was geared towards younger kids, so it kind of makes sense why they did that. Another thing that kind of disappointed me was the end credit scene. Not the first one with Bowser, but the second one with the Yoshi egg. Like, out of everything you could have put there, you picked the Yoshi egg? Maybe I'm just mad that I missed it the first time I watched it, but like, they could have teased the Luigi's Mansion spinoff, they could have had Mario Galaxy, they could have put in Wario and Waluigi, but nope, they picked the Yoshi egg. I feel like it would have been a good end credit scene if we didn't get a couple dozen Yoshis during the adventure montage. But hey, I mean, at least we got an end credit scene. Also, there's just like so many songs throughout the film. Not like soundtrack songs, like actual songs with like lyrics and stuff. There was Holding Out for a Hero, Mr. Blue Sky, Take On Me, just to name a few. Like, the first couple of songs were fine, but like after the third one, I was like, okay, you're overdoing it. But the main flaw with this movie, and what I'm assuming is the main reason it got such a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, is that it's a super simple plot. It's literally just Luigi gets captured by Bowser, and Mario has to go and save him. But I mean, in its defense, like, the Mario games were never plot heavy to begin with. Like, you weren't playing Super Mario Bros. For the plot. For Nintendo fans, they don't really care because they get to see all these cool references to the games, and they already knew that the games weren't plot heavy to begin with. But for someone who doesn't play the games, or someone who doesn't really know anything about Mario, they'll probably be disappointed. Like, you have the Nintendo fans freaking out over all the references and nods to the games, and then you just have the people who don't know the references just sitting there like, why are they freaking out over a baby Mario? And since they won't get the references, the only thing they'll be there for is the plot. And since there isn't really one, they'll be more inclined not to like the movie. Like, people are getting mad over the Rotten Tomatoes score, but like, come on, they're critics. You really think they play video games? But I also understand that Nintendo wanted to play it safe, so that way they wouldn't upset the fans of the games, because if they tried something different, it could have either gone really well, or really bad. Just look at the first time they made a Mario movie. They tried something different, and it failed. And then they decided not to make a new Mario movie for 30 years. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather than play it safe instead of risking it, because I really don't want to wait 30 years for a new Mario movie. Okay, I've talked enough about the bad stuff. Now it's time to talk about the good stuff. So, pretty much the rest of the movie. I know I said this earlier, but Jack Black killed it as Bowser. Like, whenever they first revealed he was voicing Bowser, I was like, oh, he's gonna be more comedic. But no, he was surprisingly serious. The only time I could actually tell Jack Black was voicing Bowser was during the Peaches song, which has absolutely no right to be as good as it is. I've seen people complain about Bowser and say stuff like, they made him super menacing in the trailers, but in the movie all he wants to do is marry Peach. First of all, the idea of him wanting to marry Peach was from the games. And second, buddy, have you seen the movie? Bowser is super menacing. Some of the other stuff I liked about the film was that it looked really good. Another one of my concerns was that since this movie was going to be animated, there would be no difference between the movie and the cutscenes from the games. But I was wrong again, because this movie looks beautiful. And the soundtrack for the film, oh my goodness, it's so good. I think they used like 130 songs from the games, which I'm so glad they did, because I don't think I would have enjoyed this movie as much if they just had an original soundtrack like most video game adaptations do. But honestly, some of the best scenes from the movie are the fight scenes, like the Mario vs. Donkey Kong one. That was really fun with all the power-ups and stuff. And the Rainbow Road battle, which had amazing choreography. They also did something which I was not expecting. So Mario's getting chased by this Koopa. He manages to escape and blow up his cart. Then the Koopa walks out of the flames and he's like, you can't escape me. He then turns into the blue shell, goes to the person in first place, which is Mario and Donkey Kong, circles around them, and blows them up. Like, that was awesome. But honestly, the best part of the film was the final battle. Like, I knew since they revealed that they were making a Mario movie, that the Mario brothers were gonna get the Superstar and use it to defeat Bowser, but actually seeing it was beautiful. I am not joking whenever I say that this scene is one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever. Avengers Endgame Final Battle? Never heard of it. Before they even get the Superstar, we get what is probably the best Luigi scene in the entire film.
Nothing can hurt us as long as we're together.
And then both the Mario brothers get the Superstar power-up, and then they play the Superstar theme, which, no joke, gave me chills the first time I watched this. And then they just absolutely destroy all the enemies. And then when they fight Bowser, they do the thing from Super Mario 64 where Mario grabs Bowser by the tail and throws him. They didn't say the classic "so long, gay Bowser," but I mean, it's not the end of the world. We also get a reference to Super Smash Bros, which I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it definitely felt like a reference. Also, the decision to give Bowser the mini mushroom is so smart. Like, if he just gets hit once, he's back to normal. This film is so close to being perfect. Like, I do not know how they're gonna top this. Like, this is peak video game adaptation. And as per usual, the critic score is stupid. Like, the plot is nothing to write home about, but not every movie has to be Oscar-worthy. I was also not expecting most of the references they put in here, like Baby Mario and Luigi, the cart builder and Blue Shell, King Bob-omb and King Boo, the DK and Mario Brothers rap. They also put Elsa in here, which really surprised me. So overall, I'd give this film a 10 out of 10. Please make a sequel to this, Nintendo. But anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.